Well, good afternoon. It's Graeme Roy from RMEO in Smiths Falls, here guesting at the Aultsville train station for the Friends of 1008. And we're having a good discussion this afternoon with many visitors about what is required of a telegraph operator. It's actually a very simple job. There were a number of things that you needed in order to do your job effectively. You had to have a good work ethic, you had to be brave, you had to be fearless, you had to have a good sound knowledge of your craft, which was Morse code. And there were several things that you were issued for use in the station and on your person. One of which was what we call a time bill. These were used for railway employees. They're much larger than a regular timetable. And on that timetable in the back, you would have a thing called a speed table, and this was helpful for the train crews because you could count off between posts which were placed on telegraph poles every mile. There were indications of the mileage, and if you were traveling at 60 miles an hour, that would take 60 seconds, so it would be a mile a minute. And if you were traveling the mile in a shorter period of time, it meant you were going faster. Also on the inside, there was a table showing the placement on the telegraph lines where you would find various wires that you could tap into if you were in the middle of nowhere to talk to the train dispatcher, and depending on your location, but these were live wires that were for emergency communication, and we had to know the position of those. Other than that, the time bill just told you where trains were when they were expected to arrive at a station, and it was important that you as an operator and the train crews knew generally where the train would be, because this is before the advent of radio. The other thing you had was a rule book, and a rule book was something that you memorized, you were tested upon, and you did this every so many years to qualify as an operator or conductor, engineer, fireman. And the rules that you wrote were specific to your craft. So in this book, they would be germane to the railway telegrapher and train orders and how I communicate with trains and general safety rules. The other thing that you had was your telegraph equipment. And what I'm using here right now is called a bug. And a bug was one of two different methods of communicating by telegraph. You would learn on a flat key. So, for example, hello, H-E-L-L-O, hello, H-E-L-O, hello. You could learn on a flat key because it would allow you to learn at your pace, and you learn to be consistent, and you learn to be accurate with Morse code. Once you mastered a flat key, you would go to what we called a bug. And the bug was a side paddle arrangement whereby if you were just saying the letter H, 4 dots, instead of going 4 separate dots, you just hold it open. And that was the dash side, that was the dot side. So over time, if you progressed as a telegrapher, you had a chance to work in stations that were busier. You could make more money for your telegraph commission, and you could advance. Theoretically, one day you could become a train dispatcher, which would be working in a terminal like Belleville or Montreal or Brockville, or Belleville, Montreal or Ottawa, and you would be in charge of the train movements. You'd be in touch with all the other train operators, you'd be issuing train orders, and you'd be in charge of general train movements within, say, a subdivision. So it was a very responsible job. It didn't depend a lot on formal education, but it did depend on your ability to master telegraphy as quickly as you could, because the better you were, the more money you made. Thank you.